Welcome to the Before Midnight podcast, coming to you from Frankfort, Kentucky. In this podcast, we explore the world of age group triathletes. We'll be looking at the real world challenges of being an amateur multisport athlete. I'm your host, Linda Word, along with my co host, Brian Schenkenfelder. How's it going, Brian?
It's going phenomenal. It's great. It's awesome. Unbelievable. I had
Yes, this,
two swimmers or three swimmers this morning.
it's because it was very, very cold. I'm
That
sorry I
is
couldn't.
that is the lowest number of people I've had in a long, long, long time though.
Yeah, we've really been building up recently, I thought. I mean, even Saturdays have been fairly packed and everybody's having to share lanes. So that's kind of surprising.
Yes. Yes. The last couple Thursdays have been real light. There's a lot of regulars who have not come in a while. And that's okay. Hopefully it'll turn
On
around.
Thursdays.
I
I
may
wonder
have to
what's with Thursdays.
I don't know. We'll have to probably just start beating the bush more. Hey, we haven't seen you at Masters in a while. Why don't you come to Masters?
Why don't you come on a Thursday?
Why don't you just come in general? Yeah, because, I don't know. It's been light the last few weeks. Saturday's been
Okay.
busy, which used to be the lightest day. Now it's one of the heavier days.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I know when I'm there on a Saturday, definitely always having to share a lane.
Oh, yeah.
And before, I mean, a few weeks ago when I was able to come during the week, it was packed. So,
Well, we did get lightning down on Tuesday. I wonder if that had anything to do with it. Just people kind of were peeved about that. Who knows? It doesn't really matter.
it was also very, very cold this morning.
It was. It was
And we
in
had
the 20s here.
horrible, horrible rain and everything the other day. I mean, yeah, we had a 50-degree temperature drop. It was stupid.
Yeah, no, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. But it's February. It's supposed to be cold, right? In theory.
Yes. I was very lucky on Sunday. I did do the triathlon. It
The,
was not 6 degrees.
it was not super warm until about what, about 10 or 11?
Yeah, no, I froze.
Yeah, it was pretty cold.
I made a couple. I did very well, though. I mean, I really did plan pretty well as far as what I wore um, and how, like, was in the air about, because we did it backwards. It was run, bike, swim. Excuse me. And I was thinking, well, let me bring my bike that's got the flat pedals. I'll save myself some transition time. Maybe my feet will stay warmer in my sneakers.
No,
Um, well, they're not ventilated like
that's true. But they're
my
usually,
bike
but they
shoes.
are usually open air so that so they can breathe because they're meant to be run in the summer.
Right, but I can also spread my toes out a whole lot more
Yeah, that's true.
in my running shoes than the bike shoes. So, anyway, I chose to ride the faster bike and change my shoes, which definitely affected my transition time. But I had the best run I've had in a long, long time. I was really, really pleased. I have not run a sub 8 minute pace in a long time.
Well, that's
Um,
good. That's always
so
good,
yeah, yeah.
especially for February.
Yeah.
That's because you're
Now
well rested because you haven't done anything because it's February.
when I got done, my lungs hurt like an elephant was sitting on my chest.
That's
That
weird.
lasted for about a day and a half. Well, I mean, and I could like feel, the little broccoli things in your lungs just going, they were choking because they hadn't worked that hard in a long time. So, but no women passed me in the run. Very few men passed me in the run. So that was good. Not a super fast transition, but it was like, holy smokes, that was hard. Okay, get on the bike.
Yeah.
Um, I fumbled clipping in. I was like, I should have ridden the other bike when I had to clip in, but it is what it is. But a couple guys passed me on the bike, but it took them a while, so they must have been fairly slow runners. And then no women passed me on the bike. That was good. And then I had a slow transition to the pool, but it was a run, and I took off socks and shoes, took off everything, because you're outside and it was really cold.
Yes.
Really didn't want to strip in a parking lot that cold, but so And silly me didn't think about the frost on the grass and
Mm-hmm.
bare feet
Mm-hmm.
and how cold that was going to be.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I saw lots of people running in socks, and I was like, "Oh, that was smart." Oh well.
Yeah.
So, and the pool was the usual cluster. Um, I had somebody in front of me. I tapped him on the foot, the first lane, and so he did something that I've never had anybody do before. Under the water, he pointed like he was, letting me know he was going to let me go,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, that was really nice." So, um, I I did fine. I stayed in front, and then my foot started getting tapped. So
Yeah.
I ended up letting about 5 people go past me because I was like, okay, they're just all, whatever. I'm not gonna fight this train here. Um, and it was funny because Todd Hetty, who's the race director, even at the beginning in the instructions, he's like, I don't care if you walk in the pool. And I was like, oh, he said it. So when I got jammed up and I was like, breaststroking, just, I wasn't going to try and get by. I put my feet down, saved a whole lot of energy, and walked a few steps. Like,
Well,
I
you're supposed to like
never done that
just
before,
go
but
into the lane line early and just start going the other way.
it was like the middle of the pool. I would have there was no way.
Okay. Well, you might want to wait till the red buoy. Then I would have done it. I mean, I would have
Well,
just cut
I
across. I
still
mean, at
had, I
some
still
point, you
had
got to
to,
just cut across.
I still had to go up the other side. Well, I wasn't really that much of a faster swimmer than them.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, my swim time ended up being an 8:48. It should have been around an 8. So, yeah, it was pretty slow. But, you know,
I know our
on my
master.
age group,
Yeah, the other master swimmer who did it, she was really frustrated with the swim.
yeah, her swim time was a 6:25
She could have probably gone sub 6 easily.
easily.
Yeah.
But now my goal was to get at least 200 yards in before she got in the water. I don't know when she got, but I got out way before her. Her time, though, her total time was less than a minute uh, slower than mine.
Yeah, she said she saved like 5 minutes off of last year, which is really cool. It's always fun when you get.
Yes, yes, she did.
Well, that's the exciting thing about being a new to the sport is it's your times are going to get faster the first couple of years, as long as you
Right.
just continue to do something, you will get
Yeah.
faster. Yeah, that is
I
one
mean,
of the
her
nice things.
swim time, her swim time was so much faster than my run time was a good 2-3 minutes faster than hers.
Oh yeah, she's
But
not a
and
fast
her
biker
and her bike,
or
her
run.
bike time was quite a bit slower than mine too, but her swim was so fast. So in
Yeah, she's a
order
good
to
swimmer.
stay in front of her next time, my transition time is what's good. Because she's just going to get faster. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, Linda's got to work on transitions, and otherwise she's going to be knocking on my door pretty close. Granted, I got 20 years on her too, so
yeah, she's a young one.
really, she's young, yeah. So but I think I was seventh woman overall. She was eighth woman overall. There was 108 competitive finishers, only 35 women though, which
That's pretty normal.
was well. I guess I'm still not used to that because I'm still used to road races.
Yeah,
Now are 50-50, and if
yeah,
not a lot of times more women.
yeah.
So when I go to a
It's not
triathlon,
triathlon.
it's like why why is that discrepancy still there in so
Biking,
much in triathlon?
biking.
But why don't women bike? It's a blast.
That's the real question. But women don't bike in anywhere near the numbers that men bike. I mean, just go to any group ride.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I mean, I guess women don't feel safe riding.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that is. Because in other parts of the country, I don't think it's that way, but it certainly is here.
Yes.
Through my experience.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean, mountain bike trails. I mean, I might see a couple women a year out there. Not in Frankfurt. I really only know of 2 other women that mountain bike at all.
yeah. I ran into some. I ran into 2 women one day. I went mountain biking. They were a little more serious. They were doing some of the jumps and stuff. They were young too. They were in their 20s.
Yeah, and they weren't from Frankfurt.
Probably not. No.
You know, so
Yeah. I
I don't know.
mean,
It's interesting. That's something that I'm a little perplexed by. I don't know if it's the expense or the time that it takes. It is just so easy to go out and run when you have kids and, do a quick 2, 3, 4, 5 mile run and get home again. Whereas with a bike, you're out there. If you go out for any less than an hour, it's not really worth it. To some people, maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, I think there's there's a fear factor for whatever reason. Maybe girls don't ride bikes as much when they're younger. I don't know. Not as
I
comfortable on
guess
bikes. I don't know.
I guess I need to think back when I first started riding because I remember now I wouldn't go by myself.
Yeah.
I rode with you.
Right.
Because I didn't know where I was afraid of being lost. I was afraid of getting in a wreck. I was afraid of,
Yeah. No, I mean
yeah,
that's all
being,
fairly common, and
yeah.
guys generally, I guess, are probably more risk taker than. I know that for sure. Just
Well, yeah,
having refed a soccer tournament the last weekend with a bunch of 18, 19-year-old boys, and the difference between the way they play and the way the 18, 19-year-old girls plays is just night and day different.
there's a lot of reasons why women live longer than men. But interesting. Huh? It's just something to, but because I mean, when we talk about college and like Title IX stuff, and there's women's triathlon
Mm-hmm.
teams in colleges, not men's. But why doesn't that transfer into after college? I guess I don't know.
Well, because it's a new sport at the college landscape. I mean, it's only what, 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old.
Okay,
Maybe 10.
I didn't
It's maybe 10 now. But yeah, it's
just
still
say I've
fairly
known
new
you
to the
for a while.
college. And that's
Okay,
about when it started up
okay,
as a NCAA sport. I mean, there was always club teams. I mean, that was like women's triathlon is probably one of the easiest ways to get a scholarship if you're a decent athlete. Because there's just not many women who participate in the sport.
yeah,
If you're a good
yeah.
swimmer or a good runner, but not good enough to swim or run at the college level. It's a nice alternative potentially if you want to compete at the college level.
Just interesting because I mean, our swim team is probably 50-50
Mm-hmm.
men
It
and
used to
women.
be mostly girls too. Now
Hmm.
it's kind of swung the other way. It's mostly guys that practice now. Although I think the
Hmm.
membership is still slightly more girls. They just don't show up as frequently for whatever reason now.
And most of those women are triathletes too that are on our team. So
A lot of them are, yeah, yeah.
yeah, just interesting. Hmm. I don't know. I don't know why they just were, why there were so many men. But anyway, but it was a fun race. It was well put together. I got a big, huge towel. They did towels for the winners, and
Okay.
so I got a big towel. Second place got a smaller towel. Third place got a smaller towel. So I got a full size bath towel.
I like the idea. I like the idea of towels over like t-shirts anymore. I've got so many
Oh yeah.
t-shirts. I don't need t-shirts.
No,
That
I
was
thought it was great.
that was one of the things I liked about the Mojo tries. They do towels instead of t-shirts. I've got like 3 or 4 Mojo towels now instead of. That's better. Like I said, I must
Yeah.
have 40 t-shirts from races. I don't need any more of those.
No, I give them to my girls now. It's like, here, you like this color? Oh, good. Just
No, I
recycle
just
them
add
to
them
my
to my
kids.
collection. It's like I'm at the point now where I can go almost 6 months without wearing the same T-shirt twice.
Your laundry. You do have a son that's going to be your size soon. There you go.
Yeah, yeah,
Won't have to buy clothing for him for a while.
yeah. I haven't bought a T-shirt in years. Now, occasionally, I like someone will buy me one, but I'm like okay, you should go in my rotation. You'll see it once every 3 or 4 months.
So tell me about refereeing for boys soccer. I forgot you were doing that on Saturday. Or
Yeah, I
did you
took
do
my
that all
Saturday
weekend?
and Sunday.
Okay.
The boys are just fast. I mean, because I was doing a lot of the older kids games, and you're basically talking about college age kids, and this is kind of elite soccer. It was very fast. It took a minute to get used to the speed, but the bigger problem I had was just the ferocity of it. It was considerably higher than the women. It's considerably higher than 12 and 13-year-old boys as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I quickly realized I was in way over my head.
Oh, yikes.
Oh, yeah. It was the way you bring the intensity of a game down with younger kids is you start calling fouls. And they're like, oh, I don't want to get a foul. We'll stop doing this activity. With the older kids, it's you got to start giving yellow cards and then potentially kicking them out of the game. That's the only way to bring the temperature of those games down. And I'm not very good at that. I'll be honest. I'm not very good at that. I'm not very good at just like, okay, well, this is the line. Now we're just going to start giving out cards because there's really not a lot of difference between like the first foul and that fifth foul. And then if you don't give out yellow cards, it's going to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
In one game I was involved in where I didn't do a very good job of giving out yellow cards, there ended up being a brawl at the end.
Oh no. Oops.
So it was the one team who doesn't lose very often was playing another pretty good team, and they got down 4-1 somewhat early, and then they started like just really trying to pile it on late in the game, and they scored 2 goals in like the last 10 or 12 minutes of the game. Yeah, this is like a 90-minute game. They score in the 88th minute. The keeper goes and picks up the ball. The other team is like, we want to get it up to the middle because there's only 2 or 3 minutes left in the game. Yeah, there's some extra time. There's only 4 or 5 minutes left in the game. And the keeper just doesn't relinquish the ball. The keeper is in the right because it's his ball. He gets it out and sends it back up to the one. The other team was in the wrong. Well, that ended up being this massive shoving match.
Oh.
So like 7 or 8 players are now shoving each other. My ARs, the one AR, I was the assistant ref who's down on that baseline, he turned away because the goal had happened.
Oh no.
So he didn't really see anything. The AR there on the other end, he never came down. And then the big problem is one kid just threw a punch. And it landed. There was not a lot of force behind the punch, but he swung with the hand like this and he hit him. I mean, like I said, it didn't hurt the kid, but like you can't do that. So I have to red card him for violent conduct. And then I get kind of we get talked about for not maintaining the temperature of the game and not raising our game to match theirs. And then the AR who's on my end, he got absolutely ripped, and that's rightfully so. I mean, you got to watch the field, especially when a goal's occurring.
Yeah.
Because usually the middle guy, once it occurs, we start walking away. I'm going to start writing down the score and things of that nature. The other people are supposed to watch for stuff like this. I saw it happen quite a way, but I was 20 yards away when it started happening. The sun's in my eyes, so I can't really see numbers or anything, so I'm just running in as fast as I can. Kind of, hey, break this up, guys. Oh, my God. Yeah, that was... I was not ready to do older kids' games. But it's a learning experience. It's a learning experience. Yeah. I didn't suck. I just wasn't good. It's not a great line to be at.
Yeah. Stick with the girls there.
I have to get better at the younger kids' games. Like because I've always had a little bit of a problem keeping the temperature game. The games always get rougher. This gives me something to practice in future games with the younger kids. Hey, I'm gonna start giving cards at the younger kids and just start going down the road of I'm gonna keep this under control. We're gonna knock this stuff off. Like this, I had a game
from
later.
The very beginning.
Well, as the game goes on, that second half, you just gotta just really lock it down. I had some really experienced refs the last 2 games I did who were ARs. That helped quite a bit, because they could help out with some of it. Like one team's, like the last game I did, the kids were just shoving each other off the ball, and you're like, what are y'all doing? Why are y'all doing this? Of course they're like talking all kinds of smack and profanity and all this, and what I do with your mom and stuff like that. Okay, whatever. It's just eventually they finally got the message, and the second half was better after I talked to both of them. And I had to give a couple yellow cards, but they played a lot better in that second half. It was nuts, man. It was just, and I realized that because you see this in college as well, but you don't see it at the professional level. And I think the reason that is because when they're young like that, it's still the competition and anything for the competition. But once you become a professional, you're like, okay, this is my career. I don't need to be going out there and trying to take someone else out because they may come and take me out. And I'm doing this as a career. I'm getting paid to do this.
Right.
When you're
I can't
18
get
and
thrown out of the
19,
game.
yeah, when you're 18 and 19, you're not getting paid. You're just doing it for the competition, so anything goes. And it's just a different mentality that I think you get because you see this in the NFL versus college football. College football is a lot rougher a lot of times than the NFL. The college football, you'll get kill shots, where the NFL, they'll back off because it's like, it's a business. I don't want anybody doing this to me.
Yeah.
And you see this in soccer because the soccer professional levels aren't, they're rough, but they're nowhere near as just reckless and careless just all the time as these kids are. Just interesting. It's interesting.
Well, a lot of maturity and,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of developmental milestones still about to happen.
A lot of testosterone.
Yeah.
A lot of testosterone. A lot of guyism.
Don't know what to do with.
But that was wild. Yeah, no, it was crazy because I got done with that. I had 3 games on Sunday. Well, like Saturday night, by the time we finished at 7 o'clock, all my stuff was on the sideline was frosted. That's how cold it got. Saturday night. God. It was nuts. But Sunday I get done. I'm coming home, and I get a call that, hey, can you come ref a game? One of the guys I know has a team in Nicholsville. They were supposed to play a team from Bowling Green at 1. Didn't happen. The other team was late. So the refs they had lined up at 1 couldn't do like a later game. So he's like calling around frantically looking for a ref for 3 o'clock. So eventually I'm like, okay, I can do it. So I get there. There's no assistant referees. It's just me in the middle. And he's like, it's a friendly. It should be easy. And then I'm like, well, what's the other team? And it's like, and he tells me the team name. And I'm like, oh, this game's not going to be easy. Because they have a reputation for being rough. And that game was rough as could be. And then I roll out with that, and then I forgot I had my team's practice that night, so I ran right to Frankfurt, did that practice. I was tired Sunday night at like 6 or 7 o'clock.
Gosh.
I didn't get up to
I'm
7.
tired just hearing about it.
Yeah, it was wild. It was crazy times.
It's so funny, the difference, too, because, everybody at work was like, you did a triathlon yesterday? How are you even standing up? And I'm like...
That was a short one, man. That was like
really
a small
wasn't
workout.
That big a deal. People that are not familiar. Yeah, exactly. It was a workout. People that aren't familiar with it are just...
Yeah, they're blown away by it. Yeah, they think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I woke up Monday...
It wasn't even a 2-mile run. What are you kidding me?
I woke up Monday after reffing 8 games because I use my watch. There's an app on your watch you can use to do the timing and all that stuff. It keeps track of how far I went. And it was about 3 miles a game, let's say. So, 12 miles both, 24 miles over 2 days. It's not all running. It's some combination of running, walking, whatever. When I woke up Monday morning, my recovery time was 80 hours. I forgot to look Sunday night. Because it recorded each one of those as a workout. My recovery time Monday was 80 hours. Oh, I didn't work out Monday. I was lucky to walk around Monday.
Too funny. Wow. Whew, that's a lot. That is a lot. Well, we were going to talk a little bit today to actually fuss about Garmin.
Yes.
There is a little hitch in the system that we've both known about, and it really only affects triathlons or people that swim with their watch.
Yeah, so it affects people who swim with their watch. So it might not be triathletes. It could be people who kind of run and swim and use the watch for both. Apparently, if you swim for a length of time, which is generally, I'm going to say about a year. It's different from watches, but 6 months to a year, 2 years maybe. The altimeter,
it's less than that, but yeah.
I think for mine it was almost a year. It was maybe not. It was 10 months before it finally went out. The altimeter will go bad. The altimeter barometer mechanism in it is bad. Personally, I think this is a design flaw of some sort. It doesn't really matter. It's a known issue that they go bad over time. What I love is that if you call them, they're like, well, if every time you swim you get out and you wash it with regular water, you clean out the, I guess the chemicals from the pool, and that'll save it. I'm like, yeah, sure it will. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess you have to tell me something about that. some. It doesn't matter. Okay, so it goes bad. I could potentially live with that, except that they use it for elevation on all workouts. With a bad altimeter, you get bad data. I've just ignored it for so long, but I was looking at it the other day. I went for a 12-mile bike ride, and I had 150,000 feet of elevation change. We calculated that. What was that? Like, it was
5,000 feet is a mile.
Yeah.
So it's like 3/4 of a mile of elevation in a 12-mile ride.
No, at 5,000 feet,
No?
120,000. So you're talking about
Oh,
20.
sorry,
That's like 20. It's
120,000.
like a
My bad.
24 miles of elevation in a 12-mile ride. Come on, man. Come on. I mean, yeah, doing like 100. Let's say 125,000 divided by 5,000, just to keep it easy. That's 250. No, I did not do 200 miles of climbing. That's dumb. It's just dumb. Like, okay, so it's bad data. The device has a GPS. Can we not use the GPS for this information? Can I not have a setting on my watch to turn off the altimeter and say, let's use GPS data? For some reason, that's not an homage. That makes sense to me. Maybe there's an issue with calculating elevation on a Garmin watch from the data. Maybe it's not easy. Maybe it's complicated. Maybe it's consuming, and there's like a technical reason you can't calculate it. Okay, you could tell me that, and I would believe you, and I would be okay with that. I was like, okay, it's too complicated for the watch to handle in real time, because your bike computers are generally much bigger devices, probably a little bit heftier processor in them than your watch is going to have. So I'm okay with that. Then, just tell me. But then, like Garmin, if you go not to the phone app, which is what everybody uses to look at their data because your phone's convenient. No, you have to log on to the website, which I log on to the website once out of every like 5 years. I mean, I never use it.
I look at the website a lot, but
I don't. I use my phone. The phone's there. It's all the data's right there. Everything I need is right there. If you go to the website,
Garmin Connect,
the Garmin Connect website, and you click on your workout, in the middle it has all the data. It has the map. It has all your elevation, your speed, and over the right it'll have a picture of your watch. And underneath that it'll have a thing called elevation correction, which it tells you that elevation correction is calculated with data from professional surveys instead of the data from your device. If your device has a barometric altimeter, elevation chaos is disabled, or correction is disabled by default. So it's disabled by default because I have a barometric. But my barometric's bad, and I can't turn it off. So the solution that Garmin tells you is to go to the website, click on your workout, look for your little watch, and underneath that there's a little thing that says elevation correction, and it'll say disabled. You have to go in there, click on that, make it enabled, and now it'll go through and correct your workout and takes it from 120,000 feet of climbing to 2, which is what it really was, or 1,500 or whatever. That's about 1,500, 2,000 is my normal ride around here. Okay. Why can't that be the default? Like, even better, why is that not the default all the time?
All the time.
Because it's going to be better.
Especially when they know this is a problem. They know this is a problem.
Not only is it a problem, but it's going to be better than the altimeter data. If we have data that we're using that's survey based and is going to be better than your altimeter, why are we not? That is not the default behavior. And why can't I do it on my phone?
I mean, I get, everything from Garmin Connect goes straight to Strava. And I actually have people that are like, What? I did that same run with you. This is extreme. And I'm like, it's the watch. It's just the watch.
Oh
Just
yeah,
make
when you have
sure it's above.
I have 50,000 feet of climbing in my
Yeah.
5K run I did. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. It's wrong. Can you not figure that out? But
So,
yeah, but it's like,
oh man,
why doesn't it just default to, I didn't even know I could fix it. Like, I guess I did, but I had just never had really bothered. And with biking, I use the bike computer, but for the triathlon, no, I'm using the watch.
well, oh, this is the best part. Like the course correction doesn't work on multisport events on the website. It's an option, but it doesn't do anything.
Wait a second. So on the
So like with running and biking, as if it's a standalone event, you can go to the course, you can go to the elevation correction, and it will fix it. But on a multi-sport event, if you do the elevation, it will not fix it.
I need to check on that because I've got the Phoenix 5
Mm-hmm.
and you go to triathlon, but whatever settings I have for run, if I've got autopause on or something
Mm-hmm.
like that, those apply to when I do the multisport. I have to go back through
Yeah,
and change everything to make sure it's the way I want it.
right.
So that surprises me that it won't fix it on a multisport
Yeah, because
since it reads
you
them separately.
yeah, it's like when you go to
Huh.
like when you're on the web page, you can see the swim, the transition. They're like little tabs on the top. But if you go to the right and hit correct, it will not correct for that. I mean, the only reason I know about the correction thing was because I called them asking about like, okay, is there any way I was calling to say, hey, is there any way to turn it off? They're like, no, we can't turn it off. I'm like, okay. Like, well, we can get you a refurbished one, but that's going to cost you like $250 to get a refurbished one because it's out of warranty. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't want to spend that much money on I've already spent enough money on these watches as it is.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't really want
Really.
to spend any more money to get a refurbished one that's probably going to break 5 months from now. I didn't tell him
I've
that, but
actually
that's just
had
what
a
I'm thinking.
I've had a lot of luck with the refurbished ones. Just I mean I've this watch, I think this is like the third one. This is my
Yeah.
Phoenix 5 because of that issue.
No,
I
I
just
mean,
turned it back and you got me another.
at the end of the day, it's like Garmin makes really good products. It is durable, except for the altimeter. I mean, this thing's like, I mean, you could throw it down the steps and it's still going to work. I mean, it is a durable thing. If you're in crashes and things like that, it's going to survive crashes. I mean, it's what like this one, like the one I have has sapphire glass. I mean, it's almost impossible to scratch it or tear it up.
Mm-hmm.
The body's well constructed. The battery life on these things are phenomenal. The
Shoot, the
what you can
bands don't even break.
Yeah, the bands are good. The functionality that you can do with each sport is more than adequate. It covers a gazillion sports. There's a lot I really like about the Garmin, but there's just some things that are like, can't we fix this? This is a known problem. There's a lot of people who spend a lot of money on these products that like some simple fixes would make their life better.
Right.
It baffles me. I know that they're a smaller company than say an Apple or Google or something like that, and their software team isn't huge. But this seems like these are a couple things that
Still.
like I'm like that. Not the only person who's like run into this.
Yeah.
This is a known problem. Can't we come up with a solution to help people like us out, or is your device, or we're supposed to just go out and buy another $700 device every year?
No. No.
I mean, that seems
We
a
are
little high.
we are not professionals.
I mean, like I could see if it lasted like 2 or 3 years. Buying a new watch every 2 or 3 years, and that's like a cell phone at that point. I'm
Right.
okay with that, but like every year because it breaks and you don't have a simple fix that would allow it to go on for the year or two. That's just it
That should be
boggles the
something
mind.
in the settings. I mean, that just doesn't make
Yeah, I
any
mean,
sense.
I
It really shouldn't be that
yeah.
hard for them to do.
Yeah, I don't understand why with barometric it's turned off. That makes no sense to me. I would enable it at all times, and disable is like the option if I want to use the barometric. Or if nothing else, give me the option to turn it on. Because like the worst part of it is I spent like 40 minutes today going back through my workouts for the last 6 months to a year, correcting each one. Because you can't do it in batch either. You can only have to go into each workout and change it.
Ah.
Come on. Be better, Garmin. Be better. Like I said, I
Ah,
love their devices. Fix it.
yeah. just this one thing. Well, maybe they'll hear us, and maybe somebody out there listening
Oh yeah.
works for Garmin and can change it for us.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Oh wow. Well, listen, Brian, it's always good to see you. Always good to talk to you.
Yes.
And good luck this weekend. Your son is playing in Tennessee.
Yes, we're off to Gatlinburg, the
Awesome.
tourist trap to play soccer.
I've never been there.
You've not been there? It's a really
Never
pretty
been to
town.
Gatlinburg.
I would love to go. I'm tempted to take my bike because they've got some mountains there. Big time climbing, like 20-degree, real steep stuff. I've done
You
it
have
once
fun
before.
with that.
Yeah, I'd love to do it again, but I don't know if I have time to go biking, so I probably won't take my bike. But it should be a good time.
It's also going to be fairly cold. We're still
No,
not
it's
too
supposed to be
sure
like
about
70 on Sunday.
Really? Well, yeah, like next week. But I
Yeah.
didn't know what
Well,
this
no, like
weekend
Saturday
was
it's supposed to be
gonna
like in the 60s down there.
Okay.
Once you get it past the morning, but yeah, the sun's
Mother
supposed to come up.
Nature's
Been
gone
wild.
bonkers again.
Well, and I'm also 4 hours south of here too,
True.
which helps.
Well, listen, you have a great time. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And we enjoy having you all with us. If you have any suggestions for podcasts, please let us know. We'd love to hear from you. If you're looking for a coach, check us out at go3sport.com.
And if you've enjoyed this podcast, share it with a friend. It's good to help us expand our viewership. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe too. Yeah.
Yeah, we like that too.
that way you can get new content when it comes out. We're doing this weekly.
Yep. Brian's making me do it.
Yes. I'm on it.
Bugging me. He is on it, which is a good thing. Well, thank you again, everybody. Have a wonderful evening.